Mel Gibson sits in a 2-hour, 20-minute interview with Joe Rogan while his house was literally on fire in California.
I knew the neighborhood was on fire, then I was in the path, so I was a little tense while I talked to Joe.
When most people would seriously panic, Mel Gibson stays so cool. And what you'll see today will blow your mind. It's not just a special message he had for Newson.
Spend less on hair gel.
Today you'll see exactly how to handle the most awkward conversations, delicate topics, and even questions you don't know the answer to. Mel Gibson never panics, but shows how to stay at ease in any conversation. Hey there, I'm Rachel. Hit the like and subscribe, and let's get started. Watch this first clip, what he says to Joe Rogan.
I guess.
Birds, raptors.
Yeah.
Well, they think a lot of dinosaurs had feathers now.
Yeah.
That's the newest thing.
Maybe.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I need to take a pee. I'm so
Okay,
desperate.
let's take a peek. Let's take a peek. We'll take a break.
This is so funny and also a brilliant example of how comfortable Mel Gibson is in any conversation. I mean, to say something like, I gotta go pee, on a show like Joe Rogan with 10 million views on this video at the time of this recording. He makes himself feel comfortable. He's relaxed. His posture is relaxed. He's turning sides. He's not always straightforward looking to Joe Rogan. And when you make yourself comfortable, you automatically make the other person feel comfortable too.
I'm a fidget, so let me take everything off. So,
Keep watching and notice also his lower tone of voice, his posture, it's relaxed, his body language is relaxed, and it shows a lot of confidence and charisma. Watch his storytelling in this clip.
so he looked at my brain and he was like, he looks up and he goes, "Are you okay?" And he goes, first he went like this. And I said, "What?" And he went, "Are you okay?" Like that. And I said, "Yeah, I think so." And he came over and he sat next to me, but very slowly and cautiously. He says, "No, you're not." And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You got the worst case of PTSD I have ever seen." And he says, "You're not okay."
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, I started to well up, like, no, I'm not.
The way Mel Gibson tells a story, it's so captivating and engaging. And yes, of course, he's an actor. But when we use that melody in our voice, when our voice tone goes up and down a little bit, when we go faster and then slow down again, the way you deliver makes it more captivating and engaging. Also, using your body language, your facial expressions, just like Mel Gibson does, it really connects with the audience and makes them listen. Now watch this story on Sean Connery.
I love Sean. He was the best, man. He was a cranky old guy. That I met him at a dinner party, and you haven't lived until you've heard Sean Connery utter the word goulash. So I was killing myself, And, I said, "Do you like goulash?" "Yeah, I love goulash. I always have bread rolls with my goulash." Great guy.
Another powerful move is owning his flaws.
I mean, I don't think it's any secret. I am flawed in the fact that I am by nature born an alcoholic, right? I did drugs, I did alcohol, so, and there was nothing that could stop me from doing that. Nothing. So I was really kind of you're on a downhill run. So I regard the fact that I was able to appeal to something greater than myself to help me and actually stop me doing that. I think that's a miracle. It is. For me, it is.
This is the power of raw honesty. The way he shares his past with alcohol abuse and more personal stories and topics that you'll notice today. Sharing struggles and being vulnerable, it takes courage and confidence, and it makes him more human, more relatable. And when you watch a lot of my videos, you'll notice that relatability creates that trust and connection with the audience. Mel Gibson doesn't sugarcoat anything. He always gives some solid advice.
And don't drink so much. My mother told me that too. She said, "Don't drink, son, it'll ruin your life." I think I just would have been more patient, not rush into things. I'm really impulsive. I was so impulsive. that's a blessing in some ways, but a curse in many others. I would tell myself to like slow down, exercise patience, exercise the virtues, you know, because I wasn't doing a very good job of it at the age of 20. And I think that would have saved me a lot of hardship.
Mel Gibson never dwells on his past failures, but he finds ways to shift the conversation and to turn it around into lessons learned and growth. Now notice how he handles delicate topics in a very confident way.
Back to this idea of evolution. So, do you believe that evolution exists in animals?
Well, I think everything was created, right? And maybe things do move on and adapt and change through time. But I think that that's a function of an intelligence also. And, I mean, look at the fires in L.A., you know. I mean, what's that going to do? It's going to give me a new house, you know, maybe.
Maybe.
And
or a new place to live.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I'm just not totally convinced. I feel it in my... And I can't really... I'm sorry, I can't intellectually tell you why I don't believe in evolution, but I don't. It's just a feeling. I don't think I was some ape.
Yeah, you talk about humility. Mm-hmm. Like, what gives you more humility than being publicly humiliated?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, public humiliation. And it's, you know what? For most people, it is their number one fear.
Sure.
Is public humiliation. Yeah.
Public speaking, and because of that, public humiliation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Because we're so concerned about other people's opinions of us.
I guess.
Yeah. Because we're not sure of our own opinions
of
it. Well, you've been through a lot.
Well, so have you.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, you know, I think they were giving you a grilling once for taking horseworm medicine.
Yeah. Funny. Funny how that works.
Mel Gibson is never afraid to say he doesn't know. And I know it sounds very logical and simple. If you don't know, you just don't know. But I used to be so afraid of admitting that I didn't know something, or I didn't know the answer. I didn't know anything about a certain topic, especially when it comes to politics and history. I'm now good at that. When you are able to say, well, I don't know, or I don't know this person, or I don't know the answer, it's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's the opposite.
I don't know. And I can't really, I'm sorry, I can't intellectually tell you why. But I don't. I don't know. I honestly don't. I really don't know.
Even when he's asked about being an ambassador for Trump, this is what he says.
And I have to educate myself on that more too. But why not?
Now here's a good one. He doesn't get angry, but he stays so cool when he's asked what his message is for the California governor Newsom over these deadly wildfires in California.
Message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them?
Next up, his sense of humor, and not just as an actor, but as a human being, because making a conversation lighthearted and having that sense of humor, it makes him more likable, and it makes any conversation feel more natural.
Well, I was born scoliotic, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I just bought my own pen along so I could click the shit. You remember? Here, take all devices away from me.
I can't believe you remember. You remember clicking on the pen? That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I'm a fidget, you know. So let me take everything off. Like,
5, you would be declared the sexiest man alive.
I tried to live up to that, but I fell way short. I mean, my artistic choice from, you know, the jumping off point was Sydney. I can't talk. See, this is what happens when you're awake for 72 hours. Yeah. I'll be a monosyllabic, drooling idiot in a minute. But hey, drink some more.
Now get ready for a compilation of some solid life lessons from Mel Gibson. But first I want to say that you don't have to be a famous actor or celebrity to be able to have that charisma and confidence. To be able to have a sense of humor, you don't need that huge life experience from Mel Gibson. If you take a look at Zendaya, she is young, she is shy, she's an introvert, and yet she's very confident. I will make sure that the video is below and it will pop up at the end. Mel Gibson has more tricks to make any conversation seem natural and effortless. And I want you to comment below what your favorite is of Mel Gibson. So now I'm going to leave you with a compilation of life lessons and great advice from Mr. Mel Gibson. Enjoy.
Even if it's hard, material, hard subject matter, you have to entertain in some fashion and keep people in their chairs. So you have to entertain. And if that's all you do, that's fine. If you just, it can be a silly piece of nothing, but if it's entertaining, if that's all you do, it's perfectly valid and it's good art. But if you can entertain and educate at the same time, that's yet better.
What was the most intense preparation for a film you've been in?
Wow. Intense preparation. Well, they all require some less than others. Some you just wing it.
Which roles have you had to really get in shape for?
Oh, God. I think, well, you mentioned Bloodfather. I was starting to get a little like, I was eating too many bagels and too much spaghetti, So generally, I try and stay in shape as much as I can. It's an uphill battle, man. It gets harder every year.
Do you enjoy
Great life lesson from Mel Gibson. What is the great pearl that is the constant or the lesson you can pass on? Give me the gem.
I think it all starts with, like, you got to look at yourself a lot. And it's like, how do you get meaning out of this existence? And what's it all about? So it's a search in that direction. And I think the search, you might never get to the end of it, but I think the very act of searching yields some kind of good fruit.
What do you do every day that is beneficial to you?
Man, I get up every day and I realize I'm not in control of this whole thing. And no matter what happens, I just ask for the grace to be able to deal with it, and to deal with it well and to accept it. That's the other thing. It's being able to accept stuff.